Let's dip back into the events in the Middle East at the moment. I'm joined by Israeli commentator and author Ehud Yari, who's visiting Australia at the moment and joins us live from Melbourne. Good to speak to you again, Ehud.
Good to be with you, Chris.
I want to get your thoughts first up on the story that's dominated a lot of coverage out of Gaza in the past few days. And this is the attack by the IDF in Gaza that allegedly took out ambulance workers. There's counterclaims here about Hamas operatives using ambulances as cover and mistaken identities. Are we going to get to the bottom of this particular incident? And how does it play into Israel's attempts to end this war and eradicate Hamas?
Yes, the IDF, the Israeli military, has already admitted that there was some mistake involved, although those ambulances were indeed used, as is often the case, by the remaining Hamas operatives. When you have to wage a war, by now it's much less intense operations in an area, in a densely populated area where the armed terrorists are operating from. These mistakes are bound to happen, they do happen, and the less they happen, the better.
Yeah, I think that's axiomatic, but I think so much of the media coverage around the world deliberately insinuates or outright accuses Israel of doing these things directly or deliberately when there's so little evidence of it. I want to go to the future plans for Gaza and trying to end this war. And Benjamin Netanyahu has been in Washington. He's met with President Trump. And here's what he said about the next steps in Gaza.
We're working now on another deal that we hope will succeed. And we're committed to getting all the hostages out, but also eliminating the evil tyranny of Hamas in Gaza and enabling the people of Gaza to freely make a choice to go wherever they want.
It's such a simple proposition, but such a difficult thing to achieve, isn't it? To get all the hostages back and eliminate Hamas. What do you expect to unfold in coming months?
I think we will keep seeing attempts to reach some sort of a partial deal between Israel and Hamas, brokered mainly by now by the Americans. But I do not see a situation in which Hamas will accept to remain without any of the live Israeli hostages. They see that as their ultimate insurance policy. So the day after in Gaza, that everybody was waiting for and talking about, is not going to happen, is not going to be with us too soon. I think generally we have a situation in which Israel will keep, our language, mowing the lawn, or if you want, gardening, not allowing regrowth of Hamas in the Gaza Strip, in the same way that Israel doesn't allow the regrowth of the wild vegetation of Hezbollah in Lebanon. It takes a lot of gardening, but this is a process that will continue until Hamas is willing to contemplate what is on the table, which is disarmament or safe passage outside.
Yeah, just before we leave you, though, what about the role of Iran here? We know that Iran is behind so much of this. President Trump now ensuring that America is dealing directly with Iran. He's spoken to Benjamin Netanyahu about that. Can Iranian nuclear aspirations and its Machiavellian role in the Middle East be pushed aside without war?
Well, I think, Chris, that Israel has managed, it took some time, but Israel has managed to clip Iran's wings all over the Middle East. Their axis of resistance, as they called it, is no longer there. And therefore, the Iranians understand that they cannot send a lot of good money that they don't have after the bad money that was lost. And they have to deal with the United States, which they will start doing this Saturday in Oman, a city which is part of 1001 Nights. I think that the Iranians are willing to conduct a long process of negotiations with the United States, waiting to see how the trade war currently underway is going, whether China manages to turn it into its advantage, and whether Trump succeeds in getting a deal with President Putin over Ukraine. So we need to expect a very lengthy, extensive process of negotiations, of course, with ups and downs, etc. But bearing in mind that the Iranians have switched to a policy which I describe as nuclear deterrence rather than assembling a bomb. That is, they want to stay and be allowed to stay, which is one of the issues in the negotiations, as close as they can to the nuclear threshold, have all the components of a bomb without packaging it. That's their current course. I think this gives an opportunity for negotiations, provided the Americans this time insist on a deal which will be far better, much more comprehensive than the 2015 deal signed under President Obama.
Ehud, we are out of time. Thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it. Ehud Yari there, visiting Australia from Israel, talking about these Iranian negotiations as being extensive in time and deliberations. Donald Trump obviously likes to do things more quickly than that. We shall see.